This is a trademark now. The little song. All right, welcome back to the Midnight Mission podcast. Today, we will be discussing two recently released movies. So, just letting everyone know, spoilers.
Big spoilers.
We're gonna be talking about the new Spider-Man. What is it? Across
the Spider-Verse.
Multiverse or Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And then Transformers: Rise of the Beast. So, first things first. Let's talk about Spider-Man. What'd you think? Initial thoughts.
I mean, the movies. Even before the movie came out, I had the shoes. I want to point that out.
Which shoes? Be specific.
The Miles Morales that came out for the Air Jordans, Air Jordans, the Nike Dunks that came out.
Mm-hmm.
When they were announced, I bought those and I wore them on premiere day.
Lame.
I don't want to hear that from the guy that's drinking from a Star Trek mug. I don't want to hear that from them. My shoes actually look good. Like
Hater, bro.
they glow in the dark. So in the movie, I was just like,
That's why I will live longer and prosper.
oh my god. Anyway, but back to Spider. I was hyped for the movie since like when the movie did the first one. We saw the end credit, especially since it's Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, the first movie was fantastic. It was amazing.
You know how a lot of movies don't live up
To the hype?
To the hype.
Like sequels?
Sequels. This one did, and it left
did.
me for more. And I'm like, I need the third one now.
Yeah.
The story wise, I loved it. I love this variation of the Spider-Verse. It's completely different from its comic counterpart, but it still has that same premise of multiverseness, if I will. This one, at the end, it did lead up. It has the same, like, I guess, key points. How we see Miguel O'Hara introduce the Spider-Verse, blah, blah, blah. But we see the division between, like, changing a canon event or changing, a possibility that's meant to happen.
Right. For those who don't know what a canon event is, can you explain it?
It's a fixed point in your life or in a timeline, you can say. So an example would be The Flash. How Barry Allen's mom always has to die for him to gain his powers. The same way how Uncle Ben has to always every reincarnation of Peter Parker's Uncle Ben or
someone
Uncle Ben or Aunt May.
Right.
It's still Uncle Ben, but the name is different. But they still end up dying for him to have that.
There needs to be some kind of death.
And then typically the second canon event. There's a lot of canon events for Spider-Man because his life is just so sad. Like they don't give this man a break.
He's so sad.
Like his other canon event is one of his love lives. His dad dies. Captain Gwen Stacy dying, and that's what's happening with Miles' dad. So because his dad is becoming a police captain, he's supposed to die saving a child, which happens to everybody.
Which is like one of the key points in the movie. Like he's not supposed to go where all the Spider-Man / women are, because he's not even supposed to be Spider-Man.
So that's what we find out that
he's a fluke.
That that the spider that bit him isn't from
his universe.
The universe. It's from Universe 42. So it bites him. So at the end, when he's escaping everybody, and he goes back, he's thinking he's going back to his Earth. He goes back to
another Miles Morales
to Earth 42.
Right.
And we see that a spoiler warning that Miles is not Spider-Man. There is no Spider-Man in that world.
Right. You know what's cool though? I saw this thing on Instagram the other day from the first Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where Miles sees Peter for the first time.
Yeah.
He sees Spider-Man for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's already been bitten by the spider at this point. And you see his spider senses. And if they planted this Easter egg way back in 2018, like that's genius. His spider tingle or his spider senses. A spider tingle. His spider senses, the original color was purple and green. And then it transitioned to blue and red when he saw Peter Parker, and they both sensed each other. So that's like he was supposed to be the Prowler in that universe, in his universe, but because he got bitten,
he became
Spider-Man, which makes sense because he was so close to his uncle and his uncle was the Prowler, so he probably would have taken the mantle from his uncle.
Yeah.
which is wild. I'm like, yo, that's smart. That's actually really good.
And we do see that. That's what ends up happening in Earth 42. That he
Right.
does.
Right.
You know, he is the prowler of that
Right.
universe. We see that. And unfortunately, his dad does die
In that universe. Mm-hmm.
in that universe. So we'll see in the new, in this, you know, beyond the Spider-Verse sort of how the end game works. Because now we have two villains, or two main points right now. Or
No,
three.
we have two villains.
I mean,
The-
I don't
the
think he's
Spot
going to
guy
be...
or whatever his
yeah,
name is.
the Spot. But I also feel like the variant isn't really a villain. Or, I mean, he's a villain, but he's not going to be the one that's going to
We'll
travel.
have to see because it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
because I read that most of the movie will take place in that universe.
That makes sense. Either something will happen where they refix and bring back Aaron's dad.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to give a shout out to Oscar Isaac. The man is killing it with all these superhero and
he's doing
science
really good.
fiction roles.
He's doing
like,
really good.
Man is freaking
Everybody.
Moon Knight, Poe Dameron.
Mm-hmm.
He's Spider-Man 2099. He's Apocalypse, technically.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, dude, that's dope.
All of these roles, it's been absolute hits. Like Miguel, like I think he did a really good job.
He did
with
such
Miguel.
a good job. Yeah, yeah.
My
He's
only
killing it.
like complaint is that he didn't use the word shocker a lot.
He didn't use the word what?
Shocker.
That's probably on purpose.
Well, I mean that's like that's a cuss word in the future. You'll know this. This is a future.
Well, he did cuss in Spanish though.
I thought that was really cool. I like the cussing in Spanish, especially in this one and in Moon Knight at the
You
end.
can get away with that in an English movie because it's like
Because no one
people are
understands.
Like,
You're
what
like,
does that mean?
oh, that's so funny. Oh,
yeah.
know
I said,
what
he said, what he say?
Say that back.
I said, oh.
Also
Weird.
do like the new look of Lila, his AI companion.
Oh, right.
She has a new redesign.
Mm-hmm.
She typically looks like Marilyn Monroe in the comics.
Let's talk about the art.
So
In the
I want to
movie.
talk about one thing before that.
Okay.
And that was the two different versions that they did for Lila shot. In
The thing you sent me?
So
I didn't really watch it, but
so apparently in the theaters there's different versions of the film.
and that's on purpose.
That's on
apparently.
purpose. They did it. They were like, oh, it's a funny multiverse joke, and it. You know, that's actually
What is the difference between the two?
the two is how she reacts to it. She's like, I'm calling them. Where Miguel is like, call for backup,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's like, you gotta say it. So the interaction is the same. It's just the ending. And one of them, she takes a selfie with Miguel, and then she puts on what is it called? A bunny filter. So for on both of them, and then the other one, she's like, I'm already calling them. Okay, bye.
Oh, okay. So it's nothing major.
It's nothing major,
that
but
changes
it's
the story,
it's
but
still
it's just,
cool that
okay.
they. I felt like that was a really good
It'd
nod.
be funny if like this whole time it was just a mistake and they're just playing it off
They're like,
as like, damn, what are we gonna say?
They got the other sample that wasn't it.
Listen, bro. That was the plan the whole time. We'll just say that.
Let's just say that, man.
Let's talk about the art style.
Art style. Everybody's art style was amazing.
Listen, Linda. The first movie, just the animation and like how they were able to use different frame rates in the same shot for specific or like recreate different frame rates. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
That's a rotoscopy something. I don't know.
Man, when I saw the making of it, I was like, man,
It's
why-
so good. Bro.
Like it was so good. Just
So good.
everything about the movie, the art style, everything. I
The second
loved
movie, the coloring at least, with like the style of each different Spider-Verse's style, and its color palette for each one was amazing. Like it even made me want to go back into animation, and then I was just like, I gotta do this frame by frame again. Nah.
Yo, but I just, and then even Miles's character, changes. Character design changes from the first film to the second film, like subtle, but like you could tell he grew.
Yeah,
like you could easily
apart from like physically, you could tell like his suit
even
grew
the
with
suit.
him.
Yeah, I loved it. It kind of made me want to get the Hot Toys. I think I am now though. Now that they updated the 2099 gigantic SH figure arts that Hot Toys announced, so now that they're doing a fabric suit, I think I might get all three: the Gwen, the Miles.
I might get the 29.
I want them to do a Spider-Punk.
Of course they have.
I don't know how they're gonna do it, just because of how his animation is in the movie. Like it changes. You know?
Yeah, because it's newspaper clippings and it's all over the like it. Like I did like that for everybody. Like they kept their like it's not like if when they left their own universe, they left their color palette or their design aspect.
Right.
They still kept that animations that they were using. So like Spider Punk, Spider Noir. That was the one thing I was disappointed about. We didn't really see Spider Ham and Spider Noir until the end. Like they weren't in the movie.
I didn't mind it.
I missed it because it was Nicolas Cage and it was fun. He's like, I don't understand the Rubik's Cube. He's like,
from the first movie.
What does it all mean?
Honestly, I didn't really realize that they weren't in the movie until I saw them at the end.
It was my nephew that was.
It's because I was just so engaged in the movie
Yeah.
and the story and everything was good. Like
Yeah.
I took my 5-year-old to go see it, and like he was a little antsy because he was tired, but he was like engaged.
And he was
And
like,
he was like, "Is Miles gonna be okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, puppy, he's gonna be fine." So it was like a really engaging, interesting story, and just the dynamic.
The movie's like what, 2 hours long?
Yeah,
I didn't even
like that.
feel it.
I didn't feel it. And
I
like
was
the family dynamic between him, his mom, and his dad, and just like
it made me laugh. Like
Yeah.
it was very like heartwarming.
yeah,
But it was also had
especially with the mom.
with the mom.
Yeah, but I like how like there's character development, at least in relationships between the mom and the dad.
Yeah.
Because usually in most movies it's just kind of like maybe with just one
One-sided.
parent,
Mm-hmm.
but it's with both. He has his moment with his mom, and then the moment with his dad where like he has to save his dad. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's like
And also when he talks to him when they first meet the Spot, and they're talking. But he's disguised as Spider-Man. He's like, you gotta let your son go. He's a big boy. You gotta go. What you know about my son Spider-Man?
I like how he tries to make his voice deeper.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the movie's overall great. We saw a lot of Spider-Man, and we saw a lot of Spider-Man that we've seen before from previous shows.
Yeah, I love that.
Projects.
I don't like.
My biggest favorite cameo was
Which one?
I can't remember his name. Live action
Something Glover.
Prowler, Donald Glover. I remember his artist name, Childish Gambino. But the fact that he was the inspiration for Miles, it was pretty. I would actually like to see him as like the live action Miles in that like Spider-Verse. Like
I think it would have been. He's too old now.
I mean, no, I
So
know
he could be a
no, like
older
a cameo,
Miles
like
Morales.
a cameo that was in the movie. I would have preferred that than him be. I get it because he does play Uncle Aaron in Homecoming.
He does.
He does, and he does mention, "Oh, my nephew," and he's like, "I have ice cream. Can I go?" And he's like, "It's gonna dissolve in 2 hours."
But they also kind of mention it in No Way Home.
So that's why I'm like, maybe we'll see a live action Miles at some point. But I wonder how that's gonna work, or how.
Marvel/Sony will make it work.
I mean, they did because, for example, in the comics, same thing happens. Miles, that we know, isn't from our main universe. He's from the what is that? The Ultimate Universe. And after Spider-Verse, long story short, he comes over to the main 616, and it's like, yeah,
This is like after the Secret Wars and all of that.
yeah, and then but there is already a Miles Morales in the 616.
Stuff be confusing. That's gonna be making my brain hurt.
Long story short,
Be like, huh?
the 616 Miles is actually a criminal. He kind of followed in that still criminal style, but it's not with Uncle Aaron. It's with Kingpin. And they have this similar thing where it's like this Miles is a cold-blooded killer meets the love of his life. She dies tragically. It was the Kingpin, because that's his right-hand man. He's like, you can't be going soft on me. We gotta be ruthless. And then
I'm listening to you.
It goes into the same way of like Kingpin trying to like find a way to cross dimensions to find his wife. They do find a way, but that Miles betrays him because he knows he killed his wife and sabotaged the portal, and he goes back to the Ultimate Universe where he's still a criminal, but he meets the love of his life again, the same woman, but she's like a criminal as well, so they love each other more. It's weird, but
my brain hurts. it's just so many different things and so many like possibilities
difficult.
And variables and all this other stuff. But back to
the
Across
movie,
the Spider-Verse.
I thought it was really good.
What do you rate it? So let's just get that out the way. What do you rate it out of 5 stars? What do you rate it?
I give it 10 spiders out of 10 spiders.
Man, I just said 5 stars.
I was
You
changing
make
it,
up
but
your own
I'll give it
rating.
10 stars. I'll give it even more. I did like everything about it.
I mean, damn.
The
It
music
was good. It wasn't
composition
that
was.
good.
I don't know about that one. What do you think could beat it? The Barbie movie? Nuh-uh.
I'm not even gonna talk about that movie.
But no, but 5 out of 5.
So glad I don't have a daughter, so I don't have to go see that.
You're not gonna go see it for the memes?
Nah,
I'm gonna go see it for the memes.
you're gonna go see.
I'm gonna
that.
go see the goal is to go see the Barbie movie and then go see the bombing movie, the Oppenheimer, back to back, because they fall in the same day.
Yeah, that's
It's a
two
meme.
drastically different.
That's
movies.
exactly why.
Anyway, I'll give it a 4.5.
Really?
I'll give it a 4.5
Why?
out of 5.
Why? Or I guess what? Because I liked everything. I mean, the only
Yeah, I give it. I'm not gonna say.
It
I
wasn't-
rarely give anything like a perfect score
Mhm.
because there's nothing perfect. But I think that's close to a perfect superhero movie that there is. It's just I just can't give it a 5.
Okay.
This I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just say it's 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 because I can't think. I can't think of anything that I can say. I didn't like this, or
I liked everything.
I
about
wish
it.
they would have changed this, or they would have done this differently. I like the art. I like the music. I like the story.
the composition of everything.
I liked everything.
The flow of storytelling. Like to be
Just
honest,
even the flow, yeah,
was really good. Like normally it didn't feel rushed.
right.
The way
and like not a lot happened in the movie when you think about it.
when you think about it, yeah. But that's because it's a two-parter. This film was meant to be a two-parter.
yeah,
But even though this movie was an introduction, so much got done. So much information was shown to everybody.
like, and I always talk about like hitting those emotional beats, and I feel like this hit a lot of emotional
hit.
beats, or it hit the emotional beats it needed to hit.
And it gave everybody a reason to fight. Like we see why Miguel is like Miles has to be stopped because he's been through it.
Yeah.
We see his backstory. We see why.
It's
he
just
did
so
that.
many things. Not only does he need to be stopped because this is a canon event that needs to happen, but he's also a fluke. He should have never been Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which adds another variable to it, another thing. I get it, and it was good. And then he stops a canon event.
Yeah. He stops in Spider India's. Peter, but no, Pitar.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
I like his character. I like the design of the character.
I like his
though.
because he doesn't look like it in the comics, and I do like this.
I've never seen him. Like
It's the same Spider-Man.
I only
outfit?
know
Yeah.
Scarlet Spider, Spider Gwen, Punk
You know
Spider,
who I
whatever.
hate? You know what? I take it back. It's not 5 out of 5.
$20.99.
It's like 4.9. You know who
What?
they did dirty? Ben Riley, Scarlet Spider. And that you said that I hated that, bro. Because I liked Ben Riley. I liked him. He was so.
I didn't mind it. You know why? I didn't
was
mind
funny,
it?
but
I
I
didn't
was-
mind it because it was voiced by
the dude from I know who you're talking
from
about.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, yeah,
What's his name?
Eddie
He's like,
Andy Samberg.
yeah, he's
something
like, I'm looking in the alley. There's nothing in the alley. But he's like
It's
supposed
so
to be like
funny.
a comic book, like
He's an edgelord.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
thought
I
was
liked
funny.
it.
No, I'm joking, but I did like that. That was it. Especially when he
so
showed
funny.
when he showed up in those parts, that was such this serious thing, and it's just comic relief. It was like I'm looking at the edge.
Yeah, even
No
that,
one's
like
here.
the beats too, like the comic relief and all of that stuff. I think it was just a well balanced movie.
And even like the plot twist, like the whole thing with the Miles, and then the introduction of Uncle Aaron being alive in that universe.
Yeah.
That whole because at that
even
point
the way they did it.
we didn't know it was.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got a sense in it, like halfway through when they were. And I was like, are they in the same place? Is she in the right house?
Yeah, because
like,
Gwen
you know?
is at his house, and then she's like,
Eh.
she meets the parents again, and
Yeah.
then she's like, I'm gonna go get him back, and blah blah blah. And then you're like, wait,
Yeah, she gets
Miles
kicked
is-
out of the Spider Friends.
yeah, and then Spider Punk quits.
He quits immediately. He's like, I'm out of here.
For the record, I quit.
Yeah, and bounces.
And
And,
bounces.
he just like kind of mentors briefly Miles
Yeah.
on how to use this like shock
His
venom, whatever.
His venom shock,
Yeah.
which I thought that was pretty cool.
He's like, use your whole palm,
The whole palms,
not just the fingertips.
Yeah,
I think overall, man, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the next one. I know people in the movie theater were mad.
I
that
know
it ended
everybody
in a
was.
cliffhanger, but since I already knew going in, I wasn't mad, but I think if I had gone and not known, I would have been like, "What the?" I would have had the
I ain't
same
gonna lie to
reaction
you.
as everyone else.
I did too know, and I like forgot midway through the film, and so I was like, wait. We've been like I looked at my phone for something really quickly, and I was like, we've been in here for 2 hours, and then I was just like, wait, wait a minute.
Nah, it was good.
And I remember I was like, oh, this is two-parter, and I didn't tell anybody, and then I know everybody else was like,
Nah,
what?
It was a good movie.
And I saw the movie in 4DX, and that was really nice.
I can see why that one was cool because we saw Jurassic World.
We saw Jurassic
in
World
4DX, and it wasn't all that great.
I don't know.
I mean, except when they were like,
I felt that
in
car,
the car.
bro. I felt that car accident.
You and my brothers were like, I didn't like that, and I was like, man, that was the best part.
I felt that. No, but the Spider-Verse was really nice, and I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go see it like that again, just to keep it up.
I feel like the next one might be slower
Maybe, but still.
because he's in a universe he's captured, and I
Maybe
feel
the
like
beginning might be
story-wise
slower.
it might be slower. Then it'll pick up towards
Mhm.
like in the third act or something. But it was a good movie.
Really
I
good
recommend anyone who has not seen it yet to go see it. It was great. You know how I want to watch that.
hmm
All right, so just for some context, I have an OLED TV, LG OLED TV,
hmm
and I want to buy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Govee light strips
Oh,
that go behind your TV, but they have this camera that sits on top of the TV,
Mhm.
and what it does, it replicates the colors from the movie to the
this-
LED
uh-huh.
lights, so it kind of makes it seem like the movie's going past your TV. And because the Spider-Verse is such a colorful movie,
That would be
I want
see
to
what
see
you mean.
that here, pitch black, and just watch the
Yeah.
movie that way.
See it on what is it called?
And then I have 2 Apple HomePods.
Apple Visions.
Get out of here! Spend all that money. It's way too expensive. Oh, and for anyone like on the fence of like using the Apple HomePods and like stereo mode,
Yeah.
these things will blow your mind. The bass that comes out of these 2 little speakers, I did not expect.
Is it good?
It's better than the sound. I had a dedicated sound bar
Yeah.
with a subwoofer, and the bass to it,
Dang.
to these 2 little speakers that it reproduces, is just freaking awesome.
It's insane in the membrane.
So yeah, these speakers
Yeah.
sound great. Makes me want to get the HomePod minis for my bedroom, for the TV in my bedroom. But I need an Apple TV to do the whole
Apple TV.
stereo thing.
Yeah, buy Apple TV.
Apple TV is great. I don't care what anyone says.
Apple TV. Apple.
Apple. Anyway, so yeah, man, that's Spider-Man. Go see it.
Definitely
Great.
See it. What to watch again?
I might get those figures. I
Mhm.
mean, there's so many other figures that I want to get.
I want to see
but
how the
the 2099.
looks.
Yeah, that.
Because I really did. Because I like 2099. My favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah, at first I was kind of bummed that they changed this design from the end of the
But it
first
makes
Spider-Man
sense.
movie. But it makes sense because he was more of a villain type character in this movie, so he needed
I
to
don't know
be
about that
bigger.
one.
No, he was more of a villain.
Nah, he was right.
Doesn't matter if he was
He was
right.
right.
I mean, Thanos was right.
No, he
but
wasn't. That wasn't right.
Thanos was right. It's just the way he
Nuh-uh.
went about trying to solve
Exactly.
the issue was wrong.
Exactly.
Killmonger was not wrong, but the way he went about trying to solve
Mhm.
the issue is just wrong how they tried to carry out their plan. But anyway,
He got buff.
yeah, he looks a little more villainous. He's bigger. He
I
looks
mean,
more
but also makes
threatening
sense
and-
at the end of the first movie, we see him test out the device, the prototype of the little
yeah,
watch
but he
thing.
doesn't look as
Yeah, he's small, but then when he realizes that, oh man, I gotta do everything myself.
Yeah, I don't think that's why he got bigger. I think they just changed the design overall.
I
Anyway,
think
the design I
that's
think
what
it
it
looks
is.
fire. It looks dope.
Yeah.
But that's Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
across the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Great movie. Go see it. 5 out of 5 stars. 5 out of 5 spiders.
5 out of 5 spiders.
5 out of 5
Spiders.
whatever. Just go see it.
Now, Transformers.
Rise of the Beast.
Rise of the Beast.
Solid movie.
Solid movie.
Not as good as Spider-Man,
No, but
but
it's
better than The Flash.
damn. Damn.
But it was better than Flash.
It was better than Flash. I'm not gonna
Look,
lie.
we
I'm
talked
not
about
gonna-
Flash in
we
the last
talked-
podcast,
yeah.
right? Flash, I thought it was a decent,
It was just a
good
CGI.
movie. It was entertaining. It was just the CGI. The CGI killed it.
Killed it.
If the CGI was
Shot
better, I feel like it would have been received
Much better.
much better than what it has been. Like, I sent you that article.
Yeah,
that
they're
like
pulling it
Sony's
out.
pulling it out of like 1,500 theaters because they're losing money.
They're just like, nah,
And it's like,
bro.
I'm like, damn, the movie's not that bad. There have
Yeah.
been worse DC movies that were in theaters much longer.
Wonder
Did I say
Woman.
Sony? I meant WB,
Oh, yeah.
Warner Brothers. They're pulling out of
Yeah.
pulling it out of theaters. But Transformers: Rise of the Beast,
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot, especially since this is that sort of new rebooted.
So there's confusing on that.
Mhm.
So the director, apparently, so I was reading this article. The director says it's a reboot, but the producer says it is not a reboot. I'm more inclined to say that it is a reboot because it doesn't line up chronologically with the Bayverse. Because in the Michael Bay verse, yes, Bumblebee was on Earth for years, but Optimus Prime, Jazz, Ratchet, all of the other Autobots.
Ironhide.
No, they're not even on Earth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the original group.
Yeah, the Ironhide, yeah. They're not on Earth. Bumblebee sends a signal to them when Shia LaBeouf is like chasing him because he thinks like someone stole his car or whatever. And then Bumblebee sends a signal, and then they arrive on Earth.
Yeah.
But in this Bumblebee verse, they arrive in what, the early 90s?
Yeah.
Or the 80s.
Late 80s, no?
Yeah, the
Some
80s.
80s, somewhere around the
Bumblebee
80s.
was already here.
Yeah.
But Optimus Prime arrives at the end of the movie in the 80s. He's already here. Now some people are saying that, Optimus could have left and then came back.
I don't think he would.
But that doesn't make sense based on what this movie... They're stuck on Earth.
That's what I was going to say.
They've been trying to get off of Earth.
In the Bayverse, we've seen them leave Earth with no hesitation. Like,
Yeah, because they have their ship and all
they
that
have the
stuff.
ship and everything, and then we're introduced to the artifact that creates the portals for them to travel.
There's so many portals because in the on the dark side of the moon they had that portal with Optimus. What's his name?
The
Sentinel Prime.
Sentinel Prime, yeah. But I think narrative wise, also the way it's going is
Yeah, I
the
think it's a
Beavers.
reboot.
It's
a reboot. In my book, it's a reboot.
Yeah, and I am excited for these upcoming films for it, especially with the ending. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Favorite Transformer from this film, go.
Favorite Transformer?
From just this film alone. There's only one right answer.
Design wise or character wise?
Let's do character design.
Character design?
Yeah.
Bumblebee. But like as a character, probably Optimus Primal.
Yeah.
But mainly because of I love Beast Wars as a kid.
Like,
he looks
no-
nothing like Optimus Primal from Beast Wars.
No, and I really like this this new version.
I
of
like the
him.
design.
Yeah. And then I remember the animated one. That was good too.
Yeah.
But
I think I like the movie.
and I wonder if we're gonna meet other.
Mirage was funny.
Yeah, Pete Davidson strikes again.
He was funny.
It's especially when they what is his name? Wheeljack?
The Hispanic one.
He's not Hispanic.
Well, he's voiced by a Hispanic person.
Nah. Remember he says it himself. He's like, "What accent? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
That's racist, bro. I thought that was funny. I ain't gonna lie.
He's voiced by a Mexican actor.
I know, but that's when he was like, "Oh, where you from?" He was like,
"What accent?"
"What accent?" Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
He was like, "Your accent." He was like, "I don't hear anything."
Can we just say? Can I just say how much I appreciate that we had a Latino lead?
I
love that, man.
I did too.
I love that, and I think Anthony did such a good job. Anthony
Yeah.
Ramos. I think he did such a great job
with his character. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the story with his family. And,
it makes sense.
It makes sense. You know what I mean? This takes
wasn't
place in the 90s.
Yeah, and it doesn't. It gives a little. I do like how they presented his story wise.
Yeah.
He was in
I
the military.
Hit home for some reason. I'm not gonna say that I've lived through what his characters lived through because I didn't experienced like a family member being sick and all that stuff, but like the struggles and all
The
that
struggle,
stuff.
I think
like,
that's
yeah.
especially like with more like, you know, the Latinos and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It connects. It was like or like when they're making breakfast, they're making like huevos y salchicha,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, man, that was breakfast like back in the day, or sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you see how like how his end goal for everything is for his brother. Like his end goal is like, I'm doing this because I need the money for him.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a good movie. It
Yeah. I still want to know how Mirage was gonna pay him.
What do you mean?
Because Mirage said he was gonna pay him. He said, "You can sell me off."
Yeah. So what? He wasn't gonna pay him. What Mirage was gonna do? He said like, "I'll let you sell me."
Yeah.
And then you keep the money from the buyer, and then Mirage would like leave after.
But wouldn't they like be like, "Oh, this is a fraud or a scam"? I don't know.
Once you sold the car, the other person has nothing to do with it.
I mean, that's true. But wouldn't they be suspicious? Be like, "Yo, we just bought the car and it's
Mirage
missing."
Mirage could have waited like a month or so.
Oh, he could have left the Mirage.
I do appreciate that he could like transform into anything without having the need to scan it. Because I think in the Michael Bay verse, they need to like scan the vehicle.
They go to a dealership. They all scan. He's like, I like that.
Like Jazz did it, and then Optimus did it, and all the Bumblebee did it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure these can do it as well, but Mirage turned into a gigantic, like, dump truck. Not dump truck.
Little like
the trash. The ones that pick up the trash.
Yeah, but that was a Mirage, no?
It was him.
Was it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was him. It wasn't Optimus, and it wasn't Bumblebee.
No, I know, but I was saying that wasn't it like a light Mirage, like a construct, like where it's still the small car.
But how did he sit up so high in the car?
He had him like.
There has to be like some physics, something physical.
He's
some
holding
matter.
him like this. Sitting
I
on
mean,
his hand.
either way, I thought it was cool.
But yeah, I know what you mean. But I also thought that was really cool for Mirage's character, how
he was pretty funny.
He was pretty funny, and also he does use the Mirages, especially when he fights at the end with what's his name? Peter Dinklage's character, the bad guy, the hunter. I can't remember his name.
Oh crap! I'm about to
Scourge.
Scourge.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool fight.
Yeah.
You know, he split himself into 3.
What'd you think of Unicron?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it.
Why?
Because I had the toy. He didn't look like the toy.
I mean, none of them look like.
I know, but they have similar for example, Optimus has the same head shape. Like it's the same thing.
I mean, you're talking about a robot. It's a planet-eating robot. That's
I mean, I like
Unicorn's
concept and everything, and that he should be destroyed.
Because in the cartoons, he can transform, right?
He can transform. That's what I'm saying. He's normally a ball, like a planet,
shape.
and then he's like,
where's he gonna stand?
In space. That's what he's.
He just floats in space.
He's just like
That's
he's
wild.
that guy.
There's no reason for him to transform.
I mean, you're not wrong about that. I mean, because he can only transform in space.
Right, because he can't land to transform anywhere.
Because I think he would just crush the planet.
Yeah,
the weight of a planet. He's just like, oops, and then he can't eat the core no more. He's like, oh.
He can't eat the what? The core?
The core, or whatever that's what I'm assuming he's eating.
Unicron is such a weird villain.
He's always been weird.
How do you defeat him?
You just starve him.
I mean, they didn't really defeat him. They just stopped him.
They sent.
They didn't really beat him. So he's still alive.
But he's if I remember correctly, from like always like his depiction is that he's kind of like Galactus, where he's like he constantly has to eat a planet or something. If not, he goes into slumber. And so that's what.
Because he was like, I'm starving. He literally was like, I'm fat. I'm ravaged or starving.
I'm starving. I am parched. I am in hunger pains. I need food. I need Uber space food. I need Uber Eats, but in space. I need a planet delivered to my house ASAP. But you know what I didn't like? The one thing I didn't like was Anthony Ramos's like Iron Man suit.
I thought the concept was cool because I was like, man, that's dope. Until they got to like the face.
Exactly. I was like, bro, they could have given him like some sort of like helmet
that, like
or anything.
It just looked so bad. It looked fake.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sounds stupid saying.
No, but like I know what you mean.
Like we're talking about a movie where like robots transform, or cars transform into giant robots.
When a big ape turns into a robot.
Yeah, but they look cool. They look like they're there. Like they could be there. but it's just the shadow that
Yeah.
it cast on his face. It's
It was
just dumb.
weird.
But the whole
Should've kept that
concept,
helmet.
I thought that was cool because I was like, man, that's what he's transforming over him. Like,
Yeah.
like when
thought
I
that
told
was-
my brother, like my brother and I we
Mhm.
watched it here. He thought it was cool, but as soon as he said, "Oh nah,"
Mm-mm.
like I didn't say anything to him about it. I already knew he
the
was gonna say
face.
something. Yeah.
The face threw me off. I was like, nah. You know what I really liked about the movie was like the connections, the Maximals, what they have with the people.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Oh, well, I'll save that to the end.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we
yeah,
can,
yeah.
but I did like how they.
Remember how we had our theory?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But
Nah.
that would be cool though.
It'd be. Mark,
It's
put
just
it
too
on the
many
calendar.
IPs in one thing.
Put it on the calendar. Watch.
I mean, they kind of hinted at it with the shirt.
Exactly, but we should just talk about it right now.
But that shirt had me hyped though, because I was like, I had that same shirt. So I'm talking about the Power Rangers T-shirt that Anthony Ramos' his character brother had, his younger brother had him. So let's talk about the movie a little bit more.
Okay, so going back to that, you know, also speaking of the brothers, you know what I really liked?
What?
Their code names, Sonic and Tails.
It's so 90s, bro.
I know.
I loved it.
I did.
I loved it.
He's like, we don't
I was
use
just-
we don't use our real names.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Sonic.
I actually thought Mirage died.
Oh,
so I was kind of
yeah.
like, wait, he's still alive? How? He got punished.
He put a mirage of himself dying. He's like, yo, I'm dead.
I do like how he fixed him at the end of the movie.
I was wondering about it. I was like, does he really need to fix him? 'Cause-
I mean, he was still in suit form on the plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah. So I was wondering, does he just give the parts back? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he understands it. Like, I mean, maybe he does. The engineering of a transformer.
Yeah.
He's like, do I put this back here? This goes
Well, he
here.
was good for electronics and
Yeah, but I
mechanics
don't
and all
think
that
when
stuff.
an alien living
That's
being,
true. That's true.
like, do I connect this wire to the
Mm-hmm.
hieroglyphs? Or do I connect the wire to this thing that's, like, beating?
So like, give the folks, our two listeners,
Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal.
give them a synopsis of the movie, like just a quick rundown of what the movie's about.
So
just
the-
spoilers, by the way, if you haven't watched the movie. yet.
Spoilers. Especially how the way the movie goes. So we're introduced to Anthony Ramos.
His character.
His character. I
Well,
can't
his
remember
real
his
name
name.
is Anthony Ramos. His character's name is Noah.
And yeah, that's what it is. No, we're introduced to Noah. And we see a little bit of his backstory about who he is, how his family lives. His brother has a...
Condition. I don't remember
Was
what
it
the
sickle
condition is.
cell? I
Something
can't
like that,
remember.
yeah.
They do mention it. Unfortunately, they don't have the money to pay for it.
Right. They
They
owe
They owe
medical bills.
They owe medical
and-
bills. So they get stopped at the hospital. They're like, we're not going to treat him until you pay your outstanding fee. At that same time, Noah has a what is it called?
He's looking for a job.
No, he has an appointment. He has an interview
An interview, yeah.
for a security officer, and then they're like, well, you're a liability.
You're not a team player.
You were in the army. You're
In the
not a
army.
team player. You're good with engineering.
dishonorable discharge or something
Yeah,
like that,
dishonorable discharge. So they're like, we don't want anybody with that credit here in our institution. You know, kind of pushes him off. But before that, we're introduced to one of his friends that tells him,
I don't remember
hey,
his friend's name. Let me look it up. His friend's name is Reek.
yeah, Reek, you know, tells him, hey, I got a job. I need somebody with your expertise.
Right.
Because we're introduced that he fixed his cable box.
Well, he kind of hacked his cable box
Yeah.
for him to watch cable for free.
Fix, yeah. Cable should be free.
I mean,
Cable should be free.
I'm
Especially
not
with all the
saying
ads
no.
they put in there. Cable should be free. But, you know, he tells him, I need somebody with your expertise. And it's a job, big money. At this point, he's desperate. Does the job. Turns out the job is, you know, stealing a couple cars that have been that were being, apparently the car hasn't been driven in so long.
right.
So he's like, okay, he goes in. I thought sneaking into the warehouse / hotel thing was pretty cool. How he snuck in there with the laundry service, and he's just acting natural. He's like, oh, hey guys, how are you? Be careful with that machine; it's running hot. I thought that was like, it blended in. I won't lie to you, but I would have been suspicious. Like, I've never seen that guy here, but you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't get paid enough to care. You know, he ends up stealing the car. Security guard finds him because Optimus plays a message. Turns out the car he stole is not just a car. The car he stole was a Porsche. I can't remember which model it was.
It's probably a 911.
Yeah. Really nice car, by the way.
Right. It's like silver and like
It was
blue
silver and
pinstripes.
with blue stripes. They end up stealing the car ends up stealing him away.
Basically.
They go for a little joyride. The police is obviously after him because they see a car on the run. Mirage at this point hasn't introduced himself as Mirage, but we just see the car just, doing turns and
Right.
drifts and you.
But you see the Transformer emblem on the steering wheel.
Yeah, we as the viewer, but he doesn't know. He's like, what's going on? But he hears the distress message and Optimus telling Mirage to come in to answer Mirage, and he's like, wait. And I thought that was a really good chase scene with Mirage, especially the way how he pulled it.
So funny. I thought it was so
when
good.
he split him, when he put the two
When he
projectors
created
inside,
the Mirages.
and they're on the side, and they're like, oh.
And it has like the Noah character in there,
Yeah.
and when he's like laughing and he
And
just
then
like flips off the police
Yeah,
officers.
that was really
He's like, "Ah!" I mean, rightfully so. That's any like sane
yeah.
person's reaction.
they take him to a warehouse.
Wait, did you mention that his friend ditched him? By the way,
Oh, well, he ditches his friend because
no, his friend ditches him because the police are chasing after him at this point.
Oh yeah.
And then his friend is like after him, his friend thinks he's like stolen the
He's
car
stolen the
successfully.
car, and they're like, "We're gonna drive this way." And
And then the police are chasing him. He's like, I'm out.
And he turns to the left.
He
He's like,
turns. No,
yeah.
he turns to the right.
Oh, to
Because
the
I
right,
remember
yeah.
specifically. And he's like, you left me. And then you don't see him again for like the whole movie until the very end.
to the very end.
I ain't gonna
But
lie. I
yeah.
probably would have done the same damn thing.
I mean, he
I'm
started
out, bro.
speeding up, bro.
I'm out. He bounced because he saw the 5-0.
Yeah, but still, the car started speeding up. I didn't think he was gonna catch up to him anyway. Because remember, Noah kept trying to unlock it, and it just locked back up. And then we finally meet Mirage. Transforms back into his human self. It's Pete Davidson. Looks just like Pete Davidson, which I thought was kind of weird. It was
Mirage?
Mirage's like face structure.
I gotta go back and look because I wasn't paying attention.
If you look at Pete Davidson, it looks just like him. He was just missing the Ariana Grande tattoo on his neck. Or whatever he used to cover up. You could see it. Like I saw his face. I was like, that's Pete Davidson. He can't keep getting away.
Wow,
with it.
no, it don't. It does not
Look, but
look
if you put the little Playboy bunny that he had for Ariana Grande, you would know it was Pete Davidson.
I'm gonna need you to stop.
No, he's a funny guy. He'll laugh about it.
Wait, you always have to bring it back to this. Figures. Would you get a Mirage figure?
Yes.
I would.
I
At
would.
first, I wouldn't because
I would.
I don't really like the character design too much.
I think it's because it grew on me.
But the character grew on me.
Yeah,
He was pretty funny.
I'm definitely 100% getting an Optimus Primal figure.
Yeah, we're talking about the 3-0 one.
The 3-0. Yeah.
They don't transform, but they
have a
highly
lot of
detailed.
highly detailed and very posable.
Yep.
And I would
I'm
even
so
get
happy I
RC.
found that Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie at Awesome Con.
I found it.
Yeah, you found it. Yeah. I mean, we went into the booth. Whatever. Back to the movie.
No. That was all me. That was all me.
But
you know
I
it.
bought it.
Yeah, but that's because I had to push you to buy it. I had to push you to buy something because you were like, this is just New York all over again. I'm not buying anything.
Well, last year at Awesome Con, I didn't buy anything either because
I
they
know,
didn't
but
have
you
anything.
were like, oh, there's nothing here, and I was like, what about we saw the Dragon Dagger, from the Mighty Morphin the original.
But it wasn't at the same. It wasn't at that same.
No,
setup.
but that's what I was saying. I was like, you can buy that, and
trying to convince me to buy a $200 toy for like.
No,
no
but
thanks.
there was something else that was inside there that I told you was. Oh, the Thunder Zords.
Oh yeah.
That's what I told you. I was like, look, they have the Thunder Sword. You don't want the Thunder
I
Sword?
can't talk, bro. I bought the original 1993, sealed, unopened, Morpher with power coins and power blaster on eBay for $200 during COVID, and I bought it. And I opened it.
I was about to say, did you open it or did
I
you
sure
have
did
it in the
open it.
box?
I sure did open it. And then I bought a used one from eBay, which I was like, why did I open this one if I had bought this? Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Transformers.
Yeah, and then we're introduced to, they put Noah on the little, like, top of the, I guess, scapholding. Or the
Right,
little-
Optimus Prime grabs him.
Yeah, he's like, why did you bring a human?
That
Humans-
was so funny, though. He was like, I didn't see nothing. Look, and as a matter of fact, I'm blind.
I'm blind.
I can't see.
I can't see anything. Because that's the normal response to that situation.
Anyone would say that.
Nah, I don't
see
I'm
nothing.
going over
I
there,
have
bro. I don't know
glasses.
about y'all, bro. Y'all just some factory workers.
Look at my license. It says I need glasses.
It says I'm legally blind right here. Can't drive.
But yeah.
And we're introduced to the rest of the gang of just Bumblebee, RC, Mirage, and Optimus. And this was a small group, and I think this worked out because in the other
I think so. There were just too many.
that's the issue. And then you forget. Oh wait, Did he die? Oh no, he died.
Not gonna lie, I was just sad when
Ironhide died.
Yeah, when Sentinel Prime,
When they had the Mexican showdown.
man, he shot. I said no, not
No.
Ironhide, because Ironhide
yeah.
was my favorite.
Yeah.
And he just like rusted and disintegrated.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
I was kind of upset when Jazz died. Megatron just said, nah.
He's ripped him in half.
Yeah. He ripped him over like a crab, like, bro. He's like,
I was sad when Optimus died though.
oh, in the second one?
I didn't expect that. Anyway.
But, you know, and then they started talking about, like, that energy beacon is the...
Yeah, well, let's talk about the energy beacon because we skipped that whole part.
We skipped the intro, I guess.
Yeah.
The introduction, we see, what planet is it? I can't remember the planet, but we're introduced to another planet.
Yeah, where the Maximals are on.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the planet. Which I didn't know there were Transformers on other planets? Aside from...
like Autobots and Decepticons? I mean...
yeah, I always forget that they're more...
besides, what's it called? Cybertron? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's why I thought it was a cool thing about Scourge, because he was a hunter. He had everybody's emblem on it, like a trophy.
I didn't know there were so many
yeah.
different Transformers.
I don't...
like subgroups.
Yeah, but some of them are, like, from Autobots. Like, if I remember correctly, what I saw was that... what is the movie where we're introduced to Grimlock? Where they have the dinosaurs on them. I can't remember which one
It's
that
the fourth one.
Yeah, but you know how he has that, like, new...
The fourth one? The one with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that one. You know how we're introduced to, like, 3 Autobots? The samurai, the dude. They're Autobots, but they have their own faction. And their emblems on there.
I didn't even know.
So, like, that's the thing is that, like, some of them are Autobots and Decepticons still, but they're like, oh, we're this faction of, like, they're still Autobots, but they're, like, a different branch.
You know, but what I like the design of these movies more than the Bayverse. Because these are closer to, like, the Gen 1 Transformer cartoons.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, especially the way Optimus looks. Like, he looks very, like,
from a cartoon, yeah.
Like, they
like
just...
boxy.
all they said was, like, copy, paste, boom,
add more detail.
Add more detail. And I'm not...
they brought up the sharpness slider all the way up.
And I'm not opposed to that, because it looks really nice.
It looks so good.
It's nostalgic. Because, I mean, I won't lie. I did like the Michael Bay Optimus, but I prefer this one.
I do prefer this one.
I prefer this one a lot.
There's nothing like, and I was talking to my brother about this. There will never be, well, I won't say never. I don't know when I will experience a first in movies like I have with some of these movies. Like the first Avengers, seeing the group for the first time together.
When they're,
you know, or like the very first Transformer movies. When you see that first transformation, when you see the helicopter transform for the first time, I didn't think it was going to be that detailed or that good. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we'll ever see something like that again. Like, I can't think of an... I mean, unless they do Power Rangers.
That's true.
And we see the
Zeo Crystal?
No, not even the Zeo Crystal. We'll see the Megazord. And, like, I need a Power Rangers movie that is, like... that the Megazord looks like the Megazord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it doesn't look like this alien thing.
They shouldn't have, like... I think that's one of the issues, was they were trying to use the reading material, but they were trying to make it their own. Like,
which I'm okay with.
You can copy my homework, but just change the answers.
Like, I'm okay with people like having their own interpretation. Like, that's fine. But let's use Optimus Prime as an example. This Optimus Prime in the Bumblebee movie and Rise of the Beast looks so good. It looks like if Optimus Prime was like real
life, like they just said,
but
come over.
It goes back to the original cartoon design, right? It's very close to it. I need someone to do Power Rangers like that. I need to see the Megazord look detailed and make it look like a robot, like a giant ass mech.
Yeah.
But keep it the design language similar to what the show had. As campy, as dumb as that may look, I know they can make it look cool because I've seen some artist renders on Instagram of like a modernized Megazord.
I've
has
seen
the
a
same
couple
colors. You can still see that
T-Rex.
The T-Rex. You can still see
Mastodon.
the Mastodon. You can still see the Triceratops and the saber-toothed tiger as the legs and all that stuff. Because this last movie was some doo-doo.
You know what I really hated about it was how everybody was in there like in their like.
It was very Voltron-ish.
Yeah,
and
I
I feel like they confused Voltron with Power Rangers.
They said, "Oh, they got the same. That's the same show."
Nah, I didn't like that. Like
I didn't like it.
they all need to be on
in the
one cockpit and control the Megazord from that.
They can't be
one
like
cockpit.
in the arm.
I didn't like that.
at all. I thought
And I didn't like how the Megazord looked. I didn't like how the
small.
Zords looked. They looked, as dumb as this is gonna sound, they looked too alien. Like,
I was okay with the Zords in
like
their
the-
animal form, like the T-Rex.
like the Triceratops, not the Triceratops. The Mastodon has 6 legs.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I didn't like that. That was
Yeah.
Anyway. Back to Transformers. I just need. The only reason why I'm bringing up Power Rangers is because like they were like Hasbro owns
Everything.
Power
I
Rangers.
guess.
They own
Yeah.
Transformers and they own other properties, right?
Yep. And
But-
then I guess back to the
mhm.
story, and then we're introduced to this whole like the intro, we're introduced to the Maximals, to the original. Well, I guess I don't remember his name, not Optimus Primal, but I guess his mentor. He was a silverback gorilla,
I don't remember his name.
but anyway,
He did say it, but I don't remember the name.
he sacrifices himself to buy them time for them to escape, to
Yeah.
take the key with them.
Mhm.
The key's used to open portals and everything. And Scourge obviously is upset, and then he dies. The leader, he dies, and he also gives him the name Optimus Primal.
Right. I wonder what was his name prior.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool. And then back to current time in the film. Optimus Prime talks about the energy surge. It's the beacon. It's part of the key that they can use to return back to the war.
And only the Transformers can see it.
Yeah.
Humans can't see it.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, I was like,
Does no one see that big pillar of energy?
yeah, no
just
one sees
ripping
that
off?
big ass beam of light. And then when
Yeah.
they say it's only visible to us, and I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I was getting ready to question, like, what the hell? Don't nobody see that bright ass light?
We're also introduced to, I guess, another primary character. Or would you say she was a secondary character?
No, she was a lead.
I can't remember her name.
She was a lead with
With Noah, with Anthony. I can't remember her name.
Damn it, I just had it. Hold on.
Well, he looks for the name of the character. She is I would say, not a student, but
Elena.
Elena is
And the actress name is Dominique.
Dominique. I think
Fishback.
she's an assistant to the museum, to the college.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see she's really into the archaeological aspect of everything.
Right, she's super knowledgeable.
She's super knowledgeable because when the main, I guess, professor, the main scientist, her boss, tells her, "What do you think about this?" She tells her, "Oh, this one's fake, this one's real, and the reasons why." And then the scientist claims it as her own. She's like, "Oh yeah, if you look right here, you see this right here, that's fake."
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Side. The guy that voices Unicron, his family's from Guatemala. He was born in Belize, but his family's from Guatemala. There's a lot of Hispanic representation in this movie, and I didn't realize. Continue.
Robot Gorilla too. That's why I like the film a lot. Robot Gorilla. Go ape. When they receive the new an artifact, they think it's Egyptian because she just sees markings and she's like, that's hieroglyphic as I've ever seen it. And she's like, no, well, hieroglyphs are more like this.
Yeah,
and
she's like,
nah,
I don't think that's.
Nah,
yeah.
just put it over there. Don't worry about it. It's not your department. I was like, damn.
I mean, she takes all the credit for what
Yeah.
what she finds.
I mean, yeah, but that's still wild. Like, you're just my assistant. I said 2 shots of two shots of espresso, not your opinion. That's basically what it was. And I was just like, yo, don't go like that. Which she doesn't at the end. She sneaks. She steals because she does her dry cleaning. She takes
Right, but she stays super late for some reason at work.
because you have to. Because everybody else is there. They're gonna be like, I saw her, and she was touching like all these artifacts.
Well, she was working late, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, let me go check this thing out."
Yeah.
that I saw earlier that I just remembered about. So basically, she like scans it with this thing,
and she touches it
with
and-
technology that doesn't look like it's from like 1993.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was like,
that thing
how they
looks
get
like
that?
it's technology
do
from
that?
now.
She scans she does some sort of scan slash,
and it's like a large figurine in the shape of a falcon or bird. But it has the Maximo logo on the
and I was like,
chest.
the logo.
So as she's scanning it, it starts to fall apart.
It like like some sort of sonic wave or something like that. It starts like crumbling. She starts panicking. She's like,
And
turns out it's half of the key.
It's half of the key, and that's
what the beacon is. That's what she activated it by accident. The beacon activates. Scourge is like, oh, it's right there. We got
which like they found it so fast. Like
so and then the Autobots finally meet Scourge for the first time. Get their ass handed to them.
Punished.
Like absolute.
So much so that my man Bumblebee. That's what made me sad. I almost walked out the damn theater. I looked at you and I was like, man, what the heck? Why? But when they was carrying his ass around, I knew he was going to come back. So I was like, oh, he's going to come back.
I was like, no, if they would have left his body there and they did like a whole funeral thing.
If they didn't like walk around with him, I knew he wasn't coming back. Yeah. But the fact that they were like
they brought his his lifeless corpse with them.
It wasn't like Jazz when Optimus had like
two halves. He was
two halves.
Put it together. Yo, I need super glue now.
I said, damn, man.
No, like it was because it was like a blow like right up to his chest. Yeah, so it was just like a hole.
And he took his Autobots emblem.
And he was just like, another one in my collection.
Yeah, and put it and like soldered it to his shoulder.
Yeah, I was like, that's
wild.
Scourge
was a problem in this movie, bro.
Yeah, Scourge and his goons, they were a problem. Like, they whooped
the Optimus was like, impossible. Like, he's like they all say that. Like
I'm the main character, bro. You can't do that.
I ain't gonna lie, though. Optimus whooped him at the end.
At the end, though.
I don't know how he got so strong. He was just
it's because Optimus Primal was there.
He didn't do nothing.
He killed the other dude.
Yeah, and Optimus got mad. And
he was like, that was my kill.
He was mine.
He was like, nah.
I felt like Optimus in this movie was a different Optimus from the Michael Bay movies.
It was.
Because he did not care about humans at all.
No. And he says, like, humans are liar. All they do is lie.
And as opposed to the Michael Bay verse,
the humans.
Like, as soon as he landed on Earth, he was like, oh, these poor little creatures. We got to protect them.
Well, I did like that how we also see is, I guess, the effect of war on a person. Like, he's like, I gotta do the mission. We gotta get back to Cybertron.
Because he feels like it's his fault.
It's his fault that they're stuck on Earth.
Which, you know, is wild when they're explaining that. Mm-hmm. You just see a big ass Optimus Prime inside a plane, one of those big ass military planes. Yeah. Just sitting like a human. On the floor of the plane and just like looking out the window and like I'm like that's
because he has to look out the window. Yeah. Because if he looks to the left, it's Bumblebee's dead body. So he has to look out the window because if he turns left, he's gonna hit by wave and wave of guilt. But this whole like, because it's also like how Optimus Primal, his character, they didn't have a lot of lines, but he had all his lines were important.
Right, because he was like only at the very beginning, and then
all the way towards the
towards the end of the second act into the third act.
Because we see that we're introduced to, I can't remember. The Falcon, what is it called?
I'll tell you right now.
I can't remember.
This is why I have Wikipedia up.
Falcon, whatever.
Her name was Air-Razor.
Air-Razor. She shows up to, provide support. Scourge gets one good shot on her and gives her like a virus or some sort of acid on her. But she, reveals who she is, what, who she belongs to, the Maximals and all that stuff, what the key is, and that it turns out that wasn't the full key, that was half the key.
Right, and you could tell like it was broken in half.
Yeah, but I think the following scene was Scourge, where he's like, "Yeah, I got the key," and then Unicorns are like, "Nah, that's not the key. You're missing the other half." He starts choking.
Unicorn was blown. He's like, "Master, I'm sorry, have mercy.
Have mercy. I'll get the other half." Because he was so proud. He's like, "Yeah, I got the key. Yeah, let's go." And he's like, "That's not even the full key.
You dumbass.
You woke me up. You made me more hungrier."
He's like, "I'm famished." He said famished or starving. I don't remember which one it was. But I was like, damn. Hungry.
It turns out Elena, well, she was studying the Maximal symbol. She realized that that same symbol was also shown.
Like it's appeared in different places.
In different places in Machu Picchu.
How long did it take her to find that with dial-up on that computer?
That's true.
It took forever.
I was like, damn.
Oh, the 90s.
I was like, dang.
Now, a couple of seconds delay on your phone, like, oh, my internet's so slow. We're so spoiled, man, with technology.
Technology is the future.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's true. Like, if an EMP were to go off and we lose all internet, bro, it's over. Everybody's going to, like...
dude, the internet is what, like, entertains me every day. Like, I don't have
just
cable.
imagine sitting here just...
I would have nothing to do. Like, I don't have cable. Like, what am I gonna watch? Basic television? That's all digital now, too. It's connected to the internet one way or another.
Yeah.
So,
there's no more analog. There's no more scary signals.
I guess I would read my books. They're behind you. Just a couple of them. It's not many.
Bro, that's a comic book. That's not a book. You're going to be looking at pictures. You'll be like...
It's a thick-ass comic book, though.
You're going to do it really fast so it looks like it's moving. It's just like...
I can't even read books on my iPad because it's all connected to the internet. That's wild. Anyway.
She sees that the symbol is also in Machu Picchu, so they head over there. There's a festival going on. They have to blend in. Mirage, actually, this is where we start seeing his, like, sort of cleverness. Or not cleverness, but the cool features about him. Mm-hmm. He gives him a little piece of him.
Oh, like as a weapon?
As a weapon. He's like, don't ask where that came from.
Don't ask what part of my body it came from. I was like, oh, my God.
I was like, oh, my God. This is such a Pete Davidson.
But on the plane to
we were introduced to...
hold on. Noah's like, we got to look out for ourselves. We got to destroy the key.
Destroy the key. And then Elena's like, but they have to go home. They want to go home. Like, and he's like, nah. We get the key, blow it up.
Yeah.
They end up, finding the location of a temple within a church.
And it's like this underground like city, basically.
City, yeah.
That's hidden, and she discovers it along with Noah.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the movie was like, yo, he was with you, bruh. He should have got credit, but he didn't. Anyway,
I mean,
I guess it made sense story wise because he had his own thing. That they introduced, which I was like, we were both like, what? Huh? Anyway, but let's fast forward a little bit because we're already at the hour mark.
So the temple, turns out the key's not there. Someone has taken the key already. Mm-hmm. One of those little like scourges, like little minions, little small thingy that came up. Try to kill them, they don't. They escape. Then we see a big gorilla, just a metal gorilla.
Oh yeah, because they're trying to escape and they go into the forest.
And then he's like, "Who are you? And why are you searching for the key?" And then Mirage shows up like, "I got you." He's like, "Chill out, Donkey Kong. I got you." And then
the 90s references, man, I love it.
I did. They were good. And then we see Chitara pounce on him.
Cheetor.
I was thinking of
and then Rhinox.
Yeah, I was thinking of what's her name from the Wildcats. That's what I was thinking of.
Like Power Rangers?
No, Wildcats. The lioness.
Wildcats.
Give me sight before.
I heard Wild Force for some reason.
No.
And like none of these characters have ever met.
Yeah, so
so Optimus Primal
does not know.
He knows of Optimus Prime.
And that's what he's named after him.
Which was dumb.
I mean, it
like
kind of makes sense.
In your honor.
Yeah, he's like for the great leader. He's like, damn, I really was a great leader. I gotta go back to that. Mm-hmm. I gotta stop crying about Bumblebee.
But fast forward. They team up. Noah tries to blow up the key. Optimus basically begs him not to do it, please, and he's like, okay, and he doesn't. Cool. And then we fast forward to Scourge showing up, and there's like a chase, and then Optimus kind of goes personal because he
wants that run back.
Yeah, he wants to get him back for what he did to be. So he blows up half the bridge, or whatever it was.
The road, yeah.
The road. He's stops him and he starts to fight or whatever. Then Air Razor comes. Scourge blasts his Air Razor. Mm-hmm. I don't know how this works, but whatever he hit her with
in the beginning
slowly starts to
contaminate
her. Like
it was like some sort of acid.
Kind of like it starts to rust her out.
Yeah, it
sounded weird.
But also it made her hostile towards them.
Yeah, he starts controlling. He starts to control her. So they get to where these native people in Peru are that have been keeping the secrets of the Maximals.
They've been coexistence with the Maximals
and protecting them.
And then that's where we kind of see that
the Optimus Prime was kind of humans are not what you think they are. Mm-hmm. There's more to them than meets the eye. And I was like, I had to.
He said the line.
He said the line.
And then they're
but I like how they said that about humans as opposed to Transformers. And I was like, okay, I see it.
And then it turns out they've been living on pure and raw energon.
And Is it Energon?
Yeah, it's Energon.
Whatever. Okay.
And so I was like, wait, we have that on Earth? I thought that was.
Yeah, right?
I thought that was like.
But I guess it's on all planets.
I guess, yeah.
But
I
then
guess
we, as humans, can't detect it because we don't have the technology to detect Energon.
Yeah, and then they put Bumblebee on
this big-ass rock.
Big-ass rock. Turns out it's
and then, like,
pure,
there's no way to activate it.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be, like, this catastrophic amount of energy burst and whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Fast forward a bit, Scourge is reuniting both parts of the keys. He's setting up the teleporter.
Not yet. Oh. They go to sleep, and Elena wakes up,
mm-hmm.
and she's like, hears Air Razor, and Air Razor's kind of like making all these sounds, and she's like, I can sense him, he's coming, and then she attacks them.
Mm-hmm.
So then now she's being controlled by Scourge,
mm-hmm.
and she gets Elena with the key, takes off. Optimus Primal, Cheetor, all of
Everybody,
them.
they go after
They
them.
go after them. Optimus Primal catches up. So he and Air Razor start to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Air Razor's basically like, do what you have to do. It doesn't matter the cost.
For the mission,
right?
And then, because he actually does capture Air Razor with
right, because Air Razor has that pretty cool fire blast
mm-hmm.
that, like, pretty powerful.
But she was stopping herself, like...
Yeah, she was trying to hold
mm-hmm.
back. And then she basically is like, she doesn't say it, but she's like, it's okay, kill me.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do it. So he, like, squeezes the mess out of her. Gorilla style. And just crushes her, and she dies. That was kind of sad. I'm like, damn, you got to kill your friend and all this other stuff. So then, at this point, Scourge has both pieces of the key. Takes it somewhere.
Takes it back to where they used as a transportation. That's where they teleported to.
Nah, the key actually created all of that.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So then it creates like this big machine that's supposed to open this portal to bring Unicron, and then like they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And then Noah gives a speech, and we're gonna kick their ass. I don't remember what he said. Then the final climactic battle happens, and it's like all of these little tiny Transformers and these big Scorponok looking type Transformers are sent to Earth by Unicron, and there's somehow on a big ass field where there are no other humans in Peru, and
they were on a volcano. Right?
Something like that.
Or the damage that it did made, like magma,
all the
lava
stuff.
Yeah.
So then the Autobots and the Maximals unite.
They do the catchphrase.
This part kind of got me mad because I really had to pee, and I was like, I can't hold it anymore. I have to go. So
the moment he left, they said the line. They're like,
the moment I went to
Autobots,
the bathroom,
Maximals.
Mm-hmm. No, but then I actually went back and I watched it, and I saw that Optimus Primal was like, maximize.
Yeah, Maximals.
I forgot that was the catch line.
Yeah. And then
they transform. And then I did hear the little thing that was very similar to
I told you
the
about,
Cheetos thing that was very similar to
Yondu's.
To Yondu's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did a much better job at it than I did. That whole ending part was pretty cool. It was just like any other Transformers movie, chaos, fighting and blasting and robots.
Really good. Bumblebee, is revived.
Oh, Bumblebee's revived.
And then he has such a good
That was a good intro for him to come into
the way
movie.
he was brought back. He's just him flying out.
Yeah, he came from the big Transformer plane, jumps out,
free falling, puts his mask. I did like that. The mask comes out.
He punished the other chick.
Blasting
what was
everybody.
That character's name? It was one of the bad guys.
Yeah, the one who could fly.
Nightbird.
Because she was also talking mad trash, though.
She sure was.
She was just like, you guys can't do this. You know who I am?
So he punishes her.
Yeah.
They land. So there's
Mirage
this.
goes to stop.
Well, no, Dominique realized, not Dominique, well, her real name is Dominique.
Yeah.
But Elena finds that there's like a kill switch code.
She realizes the code that she saw on the walls and in Machu in the Machu Picchu.
Because for some reason, Optimus Primal didn't know it. He only had his half. He didn't know Air Razor's half. And she did, so she combined both of them, and she was like, oh, I know it. So there's this big console thing that they have to get to. So she has to put it. She does it. Mm-hmm. The machine starts to shut down, but Scourge destroys it. And I'm like, well, that was all for nothing. Mm-hmm. And then, we're skipping through a lot just because
of time.
But that's when Mirage comes and
gets his
gets
sort
his
of
ass
that's
handed
what
to him.
Yeah.
And he died. But I thought he died, but he doesn't. And then there's this little speech where
No, you know what was really cool? The goddamn walkie-talkie they were using. That still worked all the way in Peru.
Which is, I want to say that Mirage made some adjustments to it.
I don't know, man.
Because there's no way that with walkie-talkie, that toy walkie-talkie that his brother gave Mirage that they used worked from Peru all the way to New York.
And how did he know just exactly what that's me nitpicking, but I was just like...
Right. So there's this whole speech because Noah's kind of like giving up.
He's
and he's
giving
like,
up.
we've
He's
lost
like,
or whatever.
Lost. It's
and
over.
His younger brother gives him an inspirational speech. And
That
he's
really
like,
nice.
all right. And then Mirage is like, I'm alive. I need you to take the wheel. And that's when he starts transforming over him. And I was like, what?
It was just really
I said,
cool.
that's cool. At first, I was like, I want that as a figure, but then I was like, I don't want it anymore.
It's only the face. If he had a helmet or something, maybe something similar to like the Optimus Prime, I guess, mask or
like
something.
the face mask that covers the nose, and that'd be
something
dope.
like that.
So then that happened.
They started whooping a little bit of ass.
Optimus Prime starts to whoop Scourge out of nowhere when he was just getting whooped at the beginning. So he punishes him in Optimus Prime fashion, like not only like whoops him, but like destroys him the way he kills him. And Optimus always has these one-liners, and so it's pretty cool.
Stand down,
So then Scourge is dead, but they can't stop the machine, so
they have to blow it up.
So Optimus tells everyone to
retreat,
to evacuate, and he blasts the key,
and
then everything starts to
rip, go back,
go back up. And then Noah comes, and he actually grabs on. Keep in mind, he has a Transformer suit on.
Yeah, he's lifting by. He's like
holding on to Optimus, and he's pulling Optimus because Optimus is being sucked into this portal, and he's like pulling him back.
He's like, you can't give up.
Yeah, and then Optimus Primal comes, and they help, and then Bumblebee comes, and they just start swinging, and then Bumblebee turns into this really badass looking Corvette with like these metal bars over. It's like a ruggedized Corvette. No, not Corvette. Sorry, Camaro. Wow. And then Noah's on top of him, just like riding him.
Yeah, like he's surfing on him. He's like,
surfing on him, and then they escape. And I mean, that's basically the end of the movie. Yeah. And then the very end, Noah, like after everything's said and done, Noah goes to another interview, and they ask him about his work experience, and he was like, "Oh, I was just recently working abroad in Peru," and the
locals, the language. Yeah, he starts playing it off like, "Oh yeah,"
he's not trying to say what it is. Yeah, but the whole time this guy knows what it is.
He was like, "Yeah,"
he was like, "We know what you did in Peru," and he was like, "Wait, hold up, no, not Peru." He said something. And he was like, "Wait, how did you know I was in Peru?" Or it was something like that.
He was like, "We know what you did last Friday." He was like, "I didn't say when I went."
It was something like that.
It was something like that. There was something very subtle that was just like, "I know that you know."
Right. And then he was like, I want you and your friends, the big ones, to come and work for us or help us because we're in a war of our own. He was like, basically, nah, no thanks.
Yeah, and well, they did offer to pay for his brother's.
Right. So he gives him a car, like a business card, but you don't see what the business card says.
And he says, "Don't worry, regardless of your decision, we're still gonna pay."
We know you saved the world, basically.
He says your country owes you a debt of gratitude, and
something like that.
We're gonna pay for your brother's operation,
or all his medical expenses and stuff like that. And he was like, "Why?" And he was like, "That's because we know what you did or whatever." Yeah. Then he was like, if you ever change your mind, he gets up, puts his jacket on, and he touches this thing on the wall.
The wall opens.
And then it opens, and he was like, if you ever change your mind, basically, you know where to find us. And then he walks over, and we see them working on some of the Transformer ships and all this other stuff. And in my head, I was like, oh, they're bringing back Sector 7 from the Bayverse. Because I said it out loud. I was like, it's Sector 7.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And then
he flips the card over and it says G.I. Joe. And I'm like,
it's the logo. What? It's G.I. Joe.
Like, okay, as cheesy as this is going to sound, like it gave me goosebumps and I got goosebumps right now saying it. I'm like, freaking G.I. Joe and Transformers. And I was like, Hasbro.
And then we were talking about the Hasbro verse.
Yeah. And then I was like, yo.
The power. I told you
what
the
if they do the Power Rangers? But then when you think about it, I was like,
They can because here's the thing. We see that raw energon is now on Earth. That there is a
source of power.
A source. Yeah. And we know that G.I. Joe's main villain is the Cobra,
And that's the war he was talking about.
That's the war that I'm assuming that they were talking about, and I'm guessing that's what the war is about, because we do see that Energon has like amazing energy potential, enough to revive somebody. So I'm guessing that's what the
to revive a transformer.
But maybe they can harness it into energy. I mean, it's pure energy, so maybe to harness it into.
What if they harness that into the Zeo crystals?
That's what I was going to. That's what I told you. I was like, what if one of the Zeo crystals is the Energon that they think?
I get a cramp. I don't know.
And then you get the Zeo more.
It gets me excited. I don't think they'll do Power Rangers.
And then the Zeo crystal gets destroyed, and then they would join the Transformers, and then Transformers turn into the cars, and then get Power Rangers Turbo. I'm already 3 steps ahead.
What if there are some Transformers that are the actual Megazords?
Oh, like Grimlock? Like how he's an actual dinosaur?
Uh-huh. That'd be so good. I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll do it.
We gotta be hired.
But okay. Anyway, we can leave our theories for another podcast.
But
or
we
whatever.
see the G.I. Joe, and it was really good.
Yeah.
So we know either next film will have some sort of mention of each.
Yeah. And then there's a mid-credit scene where like Noah finishes fixing Mirage, and his friend from the movie that kind of got him to steal him the first time.
Yeah.
Was like found him the parts to fix him. And he was like, why would you want this busted ass car and all this other stuff? He's like, nah, it's cool. He's like, yo, Mirage. And he transforms.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dude is like dumbfounded. He's like, ah. And then the mid-credit scene ends. That's the whole movie. Final thoughts. What do you score out of 5?
I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Symbols. 4 out of 5?
4 out of 5.
I'll give it the same score. I thought it was entertaining.
It was good.
There wasn't much of it that I was like, that don't make sense.
There is a little slow. That I think that's like narrative-wise, story-wise. There's a little slow at some parts. Mm-hmm. But like that's my only real complaint about it. Like the Maximals, how they were introduced, when they transform and they just whoop everybody's ass. I enjoy that. You know what I do wish? Mm-hmm. I wish there were more scenes with Cheetor and Rhinox. I was about to say the same thing. Because they were there twice. And they may have one or two lines. I don't even think they had lines. Cheetor did. Yeah. I don't remember what he said, but I remember hearing his voice. I'm guessing it's just like, or something like that. Because we only see them when we see Optimus Primal for the first time. Yeah. And they get their guns positioned. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, we see them in the background. They're like helping fighting, but they don't say anything. Yeah. But I still did like Optimus Primal's, like his transformation. I can't wait for the 3-0. When he's like maximize, and then he did the backflip, and I was like, oh, that backflip though. Yeah. And that was good. It was a really good movie. I wonder how the next one's gonna play, but regardless of it, I'm definitely gonna see it. I'll watch it. I was excited about this one. I was too. Cause I had low expectations, but I also think like that's why I was half and half on that. I mean, we did kind of leave work early to go see this one. Like, let's get out of here. But still, I think it was the fact that they introduced a different or a beloved not franchise because it's still the same thing, but another counterpart of it, or like they expanding its universe. I thought they were gonna do that with the Bayverse when they introduced Grimlock and all those other. I did too, but then I kind of like how they did it here. It's because they kind of ruined it. I mean, they changed Grimlock's whole thing, and then they made it something else. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it's just like, it's not the same. Yeah, but Grimlock is not a Maximal, though. No, he's an Autobot. Yeah. But still, he's like... But it's what I thought when I first saw it. I just wanted to see them, combine. Mm-hmm. I think that was my one thing. But, even still... I'm okay with this. Yeah. Maybe in the next movie we'll see. And I like the character designs, even though Optimus Primal didn't look exactly like the Beast Wars version. But he looked amazing. But you could tell it was Optimus Primal. Yeah, that's the important thing. And even when he transformed, he had his version of the mask. Yeah, I did like that. Cool. He had the little fur or I guess hair coming out of the sides. I did like that. I wonder when they're gonna reintroduce Megatron. I'm thinking with the Cobra Kai. I feel like not Cobra Kai. With the Commander Cobra, he's gonna be like, "Yes, I found them." I don't want that voice. Yes. No, well, the original voice of Megatron. I don't want that voice. I like the voice actor from Agent Smith. Mm-hmm. I like him as Megatron. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, but I feel like that's gonna be the revival or introduction. That's how they're like, oh, Earth has Energon, bro. And then that's gonna be interesting. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I did too. I'm excited for the next one and whenever it comes out. Any other? I mean, I mean, that's pretty much it.
I haven't really watched Secret Invasion.
I haven't either. I think
I watched. I don't know what
I
it
know what
was
the next
about
podcast
it.
is gonna be.
What?
The Barbie movie.
No.
You gotta go watch the Barbie movie.
Nah,
Margot
nah.
Robbie. Yeah.
No.
And you gotta watch Oppenheimer.
I
You
think
gotta see the.
I don't
Explode.
know what we're going to talk about in the next podcast, but I've kind of been Marveled out.
Marveled out.
Yeah, I need a break from Marvel.
Watch
think that's why I've been
Blue
getting
Beetle.
I think that's why I've been getting more into DC.
Blue
lately,
Beetle.
more intrigued into it.
Go watch Blue Beetle.
I don't know, something about
Blue
Blue Beetle that just no me llama la atención.
Damn.
I'm like,
Or why don't you? What about the on the things on HBO Max like the Titans or I don't think you'll like Harley Quinn.
It's a lot of the cartoon,
The animated stuff. Like
I wouldn't mind it.
Harley Quinn. It's funny. It's like really funny.
No, I've seen clips of it. So
I think the only thing they did Kite Man dirty because he was dating Poison Ivy and then they cheated on him.
Oh, you know what we're gonna talk about?
What?
Star Trek.
Oh my!
Strange New Worlds, the new season.
I haven't seen it. I'm not watching it. You're not
It's been
making
good.
me
It's been
watching
good.
it.
It's been good. It's been good.
I only want to watch that one episode with Lower Decks and that's it.
No, you have to watch season
No.
1. Look, if you thought Picard was good,
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds is good. I like it.
This man's gonna be.
No, it's good. Watch it.
He's
Watch
gonna,
it. Watch it. And if you like Lower Decks, I mean, it's not the same.
It's not funny.
I mean, it's good.
It's not funny. It's not haha funny.
I mean, there's some haha moments.
This man's gonna start changing the podcast name to.
I mean,
Star
come
Trek.
on, Mystique from X-Men is in Strange New Worlds.
She is.
Yeah, she's the first officer.
Alright, now I might watch it.
Yeah.
That might be.
It took me a minute to recognize her. I don't know why it took me so long.
Is it because you didn't see? You used to seeing her with all the blue.
It was because the last time I saw her, she was younger. Ugh. But it's a good show. And like the last 2 episodes, or is it the last 3 episodes? No, I think there's only 2 episodes in season 2 so far. It's been solid. I mean, they might be a little slow for you, but there's a lot of character development, and like I like that kind of stuff.
So what is Strange New Worlds like timeline wise? This
is before Captain Kirk. So this is supposed to take place before the original series.
So this is the first technically in the timeline.
Right. So this is actually technically first in the timeline is Discovery. No, Enterprise, then Discovery, Strange New Worlds, then the original series, then Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and then Picard. And then Lower Decks fits somewhere in between. I don't remember.
It has to be after Picard, I'm guessing. Or after
Lower Decks?
After New Generation. I'm assuming because they mentioned it was like, oh, Picard did that already.
It's probably before Picard.
Probably the series, but yeah.
But Strange New Worlds, this is the captain of the Enterprise is Christopher Pike. So he's the captain before Kirk. But Kirk is in Strange New Worlds.
Is he like?
He's just the captain of a different ship.
Oh.
He's not the captain of the Enterprise
he
yet.
was like, I don't know, like a ensign or something.
No, he's a captain.
He's a captain at this point. Oh, okay.
I think so. A commander or a captain, one of the two. Because Spock is in there.
Yeah, I was going to
Uhura's
say Spock's in it. Yeah, I saw that.
But they also introduced new characters. This last episode, I do hate. Not that I hate it. I'm tired of the time travel stuff. This last episode dealt with like time travel and going back in the past to stop something because they changed the future. Or
They
something.
can't do that. Miguel O'Hara's going to stop him. It's a canon event, bro.
And with that, we'll end this podcast because we're going to
canon
catch a little bit of Money in the Bank. It's already started an hour ago.
Damn.
So we'll catch a little bit of that. So we'll catch you guys in the next podcast. Bye.
Bye.